if I leave the house, do I have to pay support and the mortgage on top of that? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law, and I met with a gentleman last week who is in a relationship that is going south. He is contemplating divorce and he wants to leave the home. Things are getting a little bit tense, nothing physical, but the tensions are running high and it's not a healthy environment. So he's running the numbers to try to figure out whether it makes sense for him to leave. And so the answer to this question of whether you have to pay the mortgage on top of paying support is that it depends, right? So that's a lawyer's favorite response. And that's because it really does depend on the individual's specific financial circumstances and the family's financials. So the best way to think about this is that, first of all, unless things are completely unbearable or there is a safety issue, you want to make sure that you meet with an attorney to crunch the numbers before you make a rash decision and just leave the house. And the reason for that is you want to make sure that you're going to be able to absorb these costs. Running two households necessarily is more expensive than running one. And so some people can hang in there and stay at the house for a period of time. Some can't, either because, again, there's a safety issue or there is so much tension that it's just not worth it. And that's especially an important issue when there are kids involved, right? Because you don't want kids in that type of environment. So number one, consult with an attorney whenever possible before making the decision to leave. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to calculate what your support obligation would look like. So you got to say, depending if you have children, on what the parenting arrangement is, if there is an alimony issue, what that alimony order would look like. You have to crunch the numbers to figure out what you would be on the hook for support first. And then once you figure out that number, your attorney can help you determine what a court is likely to order in terms of contributions to the home. So if your spouse is earning much less than you are and you're the financially stronger party and you would be on the hook for support, it is possible that the court will order you to contribute to the mortgage and perhaps even some other household bills in addition to that. But whether the court does that and what that number is going to look like is case by case. So if a judge does order contributions to the mortgage, then a judge, for example, might give a credit to the payor. So if you're on the hook for paying a certain amount toward the mortgage in addition to support, you may get a credit on property division later on. Sometimes the court even orders that on a temporary order basis. They say, look, you're going to pay this much more toward the mortgage, but upon the division of property, there will be a credit for, sometimes half of that payment, sometimes a quarter of the payment. It really depends on the circumstances. But the answer to the question is yes, it is possible that you will pay support on top of contributions to the mortgage. Number one, before you leave, talk to an attorney to figure out what your likely financial obligation is so you can figure out whether it's a good idea to leave. Number two, you will be looking at a calculation where first you figure out what the support amount is, and then you look at the other household bills, the parties' respective incomes, to determine what the likelihood is of a judge issuing an order for contributions to the mortgage or other bills. And depending on how it shakes out, you might end up getting a credit. If you have any other questions about this, you can call us at 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to our channel and share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram @Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.